What up, everybody? Welcome back to Case Digital. My name is Zach, and today we're answering the question of how to join a string in Python. So, without further ado, let's hop right in and start coding. Hey, everybody. So, like I mentioned, we're talking about joining strings today. So, let's just dive right in with I'm use the join method. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking today about using the join method for strings. And this may or may not be a little bit different while you're here, but let me show you something, because I could do essentially with a string. I can say, let's just print it out, and I can say my sentence dot join. And if I don't read the documentation, which says concatenate any number of strings, but it's taking an iterable, and that could be another string, it could be a list, it could be a set, it could be a tuple, it could be a dictionary. But if I do it with my sentence too, right? Like you're thinking, hey, if you're thinking, hey, maybe the reason I'm here is I want to take one sentence and I want to combine it with another one and just, combine them together to make one general sentence, right? Well, when you use join method, it's actually quite different. And the reason being is because it's going to take sentence one, and that's going to essentially be a delimiter. Meaning that if I run this, I'm going to get this big old long string, which probably isn't what you expected. And that's because when it goes through the sentence two, it's going to iterate through each character or each iterable item in the string or in that iterable. So I, and then right after I, it's going to place this delimiter of hi, my name is Jim. So you get hi or I, my name is Jim, Jim space, and then this space, and then I, my name is Jim, and then A right there. Hi, my name is Jim. M, hi, my name is Jim. So essentially what this is doing is if I change to make this even more readable for you, I can make it so that this is separated by a comma. If I rerun this, you're going to see that what this is doing when you use the join method is takes the string that you want to delimitate on, and it's going to put everything that's within say a list or a map or whatever, and it's going to essentially put that delimiter right after each of those iterable items, whether they're characters in a string or they're items in a list or keys in a dictionary or items in a set or tuple. And so the thing that you have to be very careful of those is when you do a join is essentially the fact that, like, if I were to put a list in here and just say my list is let's just say my list is hi, or just do hello world, right? Hello world, that's the default for everything in programming. So if I were to do this, essentially this is just going to replace with a comma between every item in the list, essentially just like you saw with the string, but this is kind of probably more straightforward. But the issue here is this works great because this list is all made up of strings, but what if I put a number at the end of this? And the reason this doesn't work is because you're combining a string with a string and then with another string, and then you're trying to combine a string and an int together. And that doesn't work. And the reason that doesn't work is because of the fact that an integer or a number is not a string. And so you can't combine them without converting them to the right or to the same type, which you would want to convert to a string. So, well, how do we get around this? Well, if you've seen one of my previous videos that I've talked about before, essentially to do this, you could essentially combine this with a map or use some list comprehension to recreate this list within a new list. And I can do map, and I pass it str, comma, and then I need another parentheses here. And now if I run this, you'll see that I get hello world too. And that's because what's happening here is map is taking and converting every item in this list to a string if it's not already. So it'll convert this to a string even though it is, then this one, and then this one, and then you'll go through and it'll add all of them to that string. But essentially with join, you can pass anything in here. Like I could pass a tuple, and I'd probably want to do a map if I could have a tuple of numbers. So a tuple is represented by braces, or I can write the word tuple like that, or not, so parentheses, or I can write the word tuple, and I can say again, I can do hello world, and then hey, it's gonna everything join. I need another one for the print. There we go. Okay, and then if we do this, alright, there it is. So I had an issue where I forgot that you have to, even if you use the tuple constructor, you have to also wrap everything in the parentheses. So I could have just gotten away with just doing something like this. Essentially, if I run that, boom, hello world, there it is. But the nice thing about what you can do with this join is I can make this like, hey, everything has to be separated by that token. If I run it, boom, now everything is separated by that. Or I can make this an arrow, and then I can make this a double arrow. So I feel like you get the point of what a join could be. Essentially, you're just taking, when you want to join two strings, you essentially give it the delimiter, or however you want to combine, or whatever you want everything in some iterable to be separated by, give it that string called join, and then you may have to double check to make sure you map things from a data type to a string, or if everything's not already a string, and then you can just go ahead and do this, because again, in a tuple, if I try and do 2 here, I'm going to get another error. And the reason being is I got to map this do an str, throw that around, and boom, there it is. Everything is separated by a 2. So that's how you can do it. Like, again, if you need to mess with, like if you're trying to map a list of numbers, so again, I could come back in here and I could say map str of a list of numbers 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, 4. Just can't count. And if I run this, and then one for the print. There it is. If I run this, all these numbers are essentially going to be separated by my delimiter. So I can, again, you can change this to wherever you want. But that's essentially how you join strings. If you're looking to do something like my sentence plus my sentence 2, again, this is concatenation. Like, hi, my name is Jim. And again, you can do something like this, and this will combine the 2 sentences that you wanted. But just check out one of my previous videos I did, and I talk more about how you can combine strings and combine numbers with strings and stuff like that. But if you're looking to join using the iterator, or using the join function in a string with iterator, or with an iterator, some sort of iterator, whether it be a list, whether it be a dictionary, another string, a tuple, a set, and some token or some delimiter, this is the way you do it. This is how you use it. This is one line of code, super easy, and try it out on the stuff you're using. If you have any more questions about it, leave a comment below, and I will answer that there, or I will make another video depending on if it needs a little bit more follow-up than just kind of through the chat. So let me know what you think, and until next time, keep on programming.